Let's get to the conversation. The ADC Chieftain Chile Igbawa joins us on Beyond the Headlines. Mr. Igbawa, thanks for joining us this hour. Peter Obi formerly joined the ADC on New Year Eve. Beyond the headlines, beyond the reactions, how does this change political calculations for your party ahead of 2027? Mr. Igbawa, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Trying to get back to you.
Well, I'm asking how you think Peter Obi's defection to the ADC on New Year Eve changes the political calculation for your party ahead of 2027.
Well, first, thank you very much, and good evening, viewers. The public declaration by Peter Obi was not when we knew he was with us. Like he said it himself, he has been part of the coalition from the beginning. And so it's only that he made his public declaration on that day. So we have always known that he's part of us and that he would eventually publicly declare his membership of the ADC. And of course, we know that he has a good followership. At the last elections, we knew his performance, how it was. And because of that, it is obvious that his coming into the party marks a big, change in terms of the followership of the party.
I don't know if you've heard the position of some critics, the fact that they say this defection is effectively a step towards a predetermined VP arrangement with Atiku Abubakar. How do you respond to that?
I wouldn't want to respond to that because Peter Obi is available and I'm not directly his spokesman. I do know, however, that there's a lot that has gone, on the ground in negotiations and discussions, but I'm not the proper person to disclose whatever the details of the discussions are. But like he said himself, and like, Atiku Abubakar has also said, they are in the party with a singular objective to rescue Nigeria from, relapsing into a one-party state and the destruction of multi-party democracy. So whatever discussions were had at the back, what you know is that they have a singular objective, both of them, and that's why they can come together.
Let me read an excerpt from a tweet from Festus Keyamo, who is the aviation minister and a member of the APC for you. He says, I quote, "It's dishonest," and here he's referring to Peter Obi, "It's dishonest to take your faithful supporters through this emotional roller coaster and deceive them that you are running for the presidency when in fact you have just joined a party belonging solely to Atiku Abubakar and you have a firm agreement with him to run as vice presidential candidate." Are you saying categorically that there is no such predetermined arrangement, or perhaps you aren't aware of it?
I couldn't be unaware. What I know is that the person who has made the statement is the one who is unaware because he's not a member of the ADC. He's a member of the APC, and I think he's just promoting his party out of fear regarding what the party can now see. You were aware that when the ADC started, first the opposition coalition started coming together. Everybody said, no, these are strange bedfellows, they cannot come together. But now they are seeing things moving beyond their expectations. And we expect them to react in the way that Keyamo has reacted. And I am not knowing Keyamo today. I'm sure that if we get him as a lawyer, if we ask him to verify or justify his statement, he will have no justification whatsoever. So what we know is that Obi has said he's going to run for the presidency. And ADC is a democratic party. It doesn't belong to anybody. I can assure you that in the next few days, you're going to have the party begin to come out with where it stands in terms of manifesto, in terms of policy direction, in terms of rebranding, and in terms of other things that Nigerians need to know about the party. And I think by then people will begin to know that this party belongs to nobody at all.
You spoke about how both of them had an impressive outing in 2023. Atiku Abubakar had 6.9 million votes. Peter Obi had 6.1 million votes. If you put that together, that's in excess of the number of votes that President Bola Tinubu had to win that election. You don't see pairing them as a viable strategy?
Of course, it is a very viable strategy. We know that when you put the votes together, is in great excess, nearly double the votes that Waju was announced to have won in the 2023 elections. So we know the union is a very viable one. And don't forget too that when there is extreme focus on just two people, it may be the wrong focus. Yes, there are two focal persons in the party. We have a few other persons who also have presidential ambitions, who have contested and won elections. You have many persons who, are either serving now, you can see serving senators, former governors, and so forth, who all have a constituency to deliver to the ADC. So we're not talking about in terms of just two persons. That is to say, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar and His Excellency Peter Obi. We're talking about the magnitude and the colossal quality of membership that ADC is putting together. And so we know that
I hear you clearly.
Is undoubtable.
Yes, but I'm sure that you and I can agree that they are the two most prominent candidates or aspirants that your party has as of today. And it wouldn't make any political sense to perhaps give it to another person. But that's for the ADC to decide. The challenge, though, will be whether Peter Obi will be able to get his obedient following to vote for Atiku if the aviation minister is right, based on the assumption is made that he's agreed to be a running mate. But as a stakeholder, what really do you consider the chances of a Peter Obi to emerge as candidate of the ADC, given the mix of the current aspirants who are in the party?
Well, I think as we speak, every member of the ADC who aspires for the ticket or the presidency or the platform of the party has equal opportunity. And it depends on how well you are able to do your work, how you are able to convince members of the party that you are the best candidate. Peter Obi himself said so, that he's coming into the ADC, he will contest for presidency, but that the best candidate should emerge. So he believes in democracy and that the process we go through. And he is depending on what the people, the members.
Well, ADC Chieftain Chile Igbawa, we're going to work on that connection and return to this conversation. Stay with us, everyone. Don't go away. ADC Chieftain, Mr. Igbawa, Mr. Chile Igbawa, thank you so much for staying the course on the program this evening. You know, zoning has also been a recurring theme in Nigerian politics, and what some critics of your party are suggesting is that ADC is repeating PDP's 2023 error by being ambiguous about its zoning policy. I'm wondering how you react to that.
Well, thank you for the question, but I want to assure Nigerians that ADC will not be ambiguous concerning the issue of zoning. There are a few things that need to be put forward, and that's what the party is working on. And I believe that by the time these things are exposed to Nigerians, the issue of zoning will come at the appropriate time. And we are all Nigerians, and we're here, we know what the zoning is, and we know what is proper about the zoning. So there should be no fears at all. ADC is not a foreign party, it's a Nigerian party, and it recognizes the principle of zoning. So there should be no fears. It will be done at the appropriate time, and I'm sure that it's going to be done very much amicably.
I understand the expectation, but I wanted to get your personal opinion. Looking at 2027, which regions and demographics do you think your party should prioritize for presidency? And how does Peter Obi's defection strengthen that strategy?
Yeah, of course. Talking about maybe geographical zoning or other demographics, those are considerations that the party members will consider. And I can assure you that ADC is the party that has come out to pride itself as giving opportunities to females and youths. And that is why you will see the reconstituted National Working Committee of the ADC. You see a lot of youth there. And is a policy which is being implemented in every step that the ADC is taking. Shortly, the ADC will be announcing its committees that are working out the details on its image, its manifesto, its policy document, and so forth. And you see that youths and women are fully represented. Again, ADC believes that it will serve as a bridge between the older generation and the younger generation. So there is very open field for youth participation in the ADC, and age will not be a deterrence to any youth who desires to participate at any level in this party.
You know that the expectations are high, considering that ADC is now, being seen as a viable opposition to the incumbent ahead of the big one in 2027. That's why people are asking how will your party, for instance, manage zoning, party primaries. How will you deal with regional or religious balance to avoid the kind of internal disputes we've seen in other parties, and also ensure voter confidence? But how do you also ensure that the kind of personality-driven politics we've seen from other parties, because most members of your party are from all of these different parties that you want to wrestle power from the APC, from the PDP, Labour Party, and what have you. How do you ensure that this personality politics does not overshadow institutional processes, that your party needs at this time?
Well, I don't want to be the gun, but I'm just assuring you that the ADC will bring out a manifesto. It will also bring out a policy document. We're not going to be a party that when people win election on their platforms, they begin to go back and start thinking of what to do. The ADC is coming out with a manifesto. It's coming out with a policy document. It's coming out with an ethical document. So all these, once they are there, I believe that without having to tell people what they ought to do, some people may say that, well, from what I've seen here, maybe I'm not the right and proper person at this stage. And they may say, well, I'll let go of this and take this other thing. But I can assure you that even though the personalities are coming from these different political parties, one thing that is important is you learn from mistakes. Those who are coming from the PDP, including myself, if we have not learned from the mistake of the PDP, then we wouldn't say we are getting wiser. Same thing with those who are coming from the Labour Party. They have seen what challenges the party has faced. Those who are coming from the APC, because we also have several people coming from APC, they know what challenges that ADC is undergoing and will eventually undergo when the implosion takes place. So we are very much aware of these things, and what economics call late commerce advantage is what we intend to deploy, which are, avoid all these banana peels and get home, safe and dry.
Well, Mr. Gbawa, you must be concerned that the numbers aren't in your favor. We saw about 6 governors move to the APC last year. Just today, the Plateau State governor formally announced his defection to the APC. How do you win a party that currently has 28 governors and that's also boasting that he might get more before 2027? The expectation was that when Peter Obi moved to the ADC, that the Abia State governor was going to follow him, but that didn't happen.
Well, you see, when Peter Obi got 6 million votes, he didn't have a governor. Not even one. So we have considered that as a great lesson, as we work ahead, and I've said elsewhere that incumbency is a two-edged sword. An incumbency that is negative gives negative results. And what we have seen is that many of the governors are already on the other side concerning their people's confidence. They've lost confidence in some of them. And so we think that it's good readers that are putting themselves in a particular place, and we're able to say that now this is where we belong and that is where they belong. So we're not worried about governors yet. We know some will still come, but until they come, what we have is more than sufficient. The governor of Abia, for instance, has his own decisions to make. It's not everybody who comes to the party on the same day. He may have his own plans on how he wants to publicly declare for a party if he is not staying back in his old party, which I believe he will not, given that the factionalization has taken a point that it is unlikely that anybody can have a successful candidature in the Labour Party at this time. So I believe he will come at the appropriate time. But what I want to assure Nigerians is that when Peter Obi got 6 million votes, he had no governor on his side. And the other parties that had governors, they didn't get as many votes as he got. So issues are what ADC is going to drive. ADC will be an issue-driven party politics. So when we bring out the issues, the people will see the difference between the ADC and the other political parties. I think that's what's more important.
I'm not sure.
The individuals.
Sure. I got you accurately. Are you saying that the ADC is still hoping that Alex Otti is going to make the move in your direction? Well,
we wouldn't stop anybody from coming to the ADC.
Anybody
who wants to come to the ADC is free to come.
ADC Chieftain Chilegwawa, good place to leave it. Thank you so much for joining this conversation. We wish you all the best, and we'll talk to you subsequently.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That's our show today, everyone. Thank you for being a part of it. See you again next week.